The war was over, but the sky still burned with fire. The battlefield was silent now, covered with smoke, ashes, and the broken bodies of both humans and aliens. Among them, one human soldier was still breathing. Barely alive, his name was Aaron. And his legs were crushed under metal wreckage. Blood poured from his side. And his armor was cracked. He had no weapon left, no hope, and no help coming. He looked up at the sky, watching the smoke mix with the stars. Everything felt slow, like time had stopped. His eyes started to close. But then he heard it. A voice, soft and strange, spoke inside his mind. "If you want milk, just close your eyes." Aaron blinked, thinking he was losing his mind. He looked around but saw no one. He tried to crawl, but his body refused to move. Again, the voice came closer this time. "If you want milk, just close your eyes." Was this a dream? Was he already dying? His heart was slowing down and his vision blurred. He had no other choice, so he did what the voice said. He closed his eyes. The pain vanished. He felt cold, like ice touching his skin, then warm, like fire flowing through his blood. He wanted to scream, but his mouth wouldn't open. He felt like he was floating in a soft cloud, but the cloud was wet and alive. He heard whispers all around him in a language he couldn't understand. Then silence when Aaron opened his eyes again. He was no longer on the battlefield. He was inside a smooth, white room with lights that pulsed softly. The walls looked like glass but felt like skin. Machines floated in the air but made no sound. And standing beside him was a tall, silver-skinned figure with glowing eyes. It was not human, but it was smiling. "You are safe now," the alien said in a calm, slow voice. "You drank the milk, and it healed you." Aaron sat up, confused. His body was fully healed. There were no wounds, no broken bones, no pain. He looked at his hands, his arms, his legs. They were whole again, but something felt different. His skin was colder, and his heart beat slower. It didn't feel like a human heart anymore. "What milk?" Aaron asked, his voice shaking. "I don't remember drinking anything." The alien tilted its head, as if amused. "You don't need to remember, only to trust," it said. "The milk flows where it is needed." Aaron stood up slowly, his muscles stronger than before. He could move faster, smoother, and quieter. He looked around and saw other beds, other humans sleeping. Some were smiling, others twitching in their dreams. One man whispered in his sleep, "Don't close your eyes again. Don't close your eyes again." Aaron walked to the clear wall. Looking outside, he saw stars, and far in the distant sub-burned planet. Was it Earth's or another battlefield? He turned to the alien doctor, who stood silently, watching. "What is this place?" Aaron asked. "This is the healing ship." The doctor replied, "We find those near death and give them life again." "Why me?" Aaron asked. "Because you were willing," the doctor said. "You closed your eyes." Aaron felt a chill in his spine. The doctor handed him a cup with a silver liquid, thick like cream. "Drink again, and your strength will grow." Aaron hesitated, then took the cup. He drank, and the cold returned, then warmth. He felt something inside him shift. His hearing became sharper, his vision clearer, but behind it all, he heard something new, a whisper. It was coming from the milk. The room around him suddenly felt smaller. The walls pulsed like a heartbeat. The lights dimmed, and Aaron looked at the other patients again. One of them opened their eyes wide and screamed, "They're feeding it. Don't drink again. It remembers." Then he fainted. Aaron turned to the alien doctor. "What is he talking about?" he asked. The doctor smiled calmly. "Some minds break under healing. Yours will not." But Aaron wasn't sure anymore. He looked at the cup in his hand, still half full. He felt stronger, but he also felt watched, like something inside the milk was looking back at him. He took a deep breath. This was not just healing. Something else was happening, something deeper, and the whisper had returned. If you want more, just close your eyes. Aaron stared at the cup. His hands were steady, but his soul was not. Something had changed, and he needed answers fast. Aaron woke up again, but this time it felt different. He had not fallen asleep. Yet hours had passed. The bed beneath him was warm and soft, like living flesh. The walls around him pulsed gently. Like breathing lungs, soft lights glowed from above. But there was no source. He sat up, feeling strong, but also heavier. Like something inside him had grown, and it wasn't just muscle. The alien doctor was standing nearby, quiet, calm, and watching. "You are healing well," the doctor said, with the same soft smile. Better than most, Aaron rubbed his chest, where his worst wound had been. Not even a scar remained. "What is this place?" he asked again, more firmly this time. "This," the doctor said, waving its hand slowly, "is the healing chamber, a place where pain ends and life begins again." Aaron stepped off the bed and looked around. There were more beds now. Maybe a dozen on each bed lay a human, silent, eyes closed. Some looked peaceful. Others twitched like they were trapped in nightmares. The air smelled sweet, too sweet, like sugar hiding rot, and every few seconds a soft drip echoed in the chamber. Drip, drip. He walked toward the sound and found a clear tube running along the wall. Thick white liquid flowed through it slowly, like syrup. It went into machines, which pulsed and hummed softly. Then the tube split, one line leading to the sleeping patients, the other vanishing into the floor. "Is this the milk?" Aaron asked, touching the tube. "Yes," the doctor replied, stepping beside him. "It is the source of healing, and the reason you are alive." Aaron looked down at the floor, where the second tube disappeared. "What's below this chamber?" he asked. The doctor's smile faded for a second, then returned. "Not your concern." It said gently, "The deeper chambers are for medical storage only." Aaron didn't believe that. Something about the tone felt off, like the doctor was hiding something behind that calm voice. He continued walking, exploring more of the chamber. He found a small table with cups, the same silver cups he had seen before. Each one filled with the glowing white milk. One cup was still warm, like it had just been used, but no one was nearby. On the wall near the table was a door, dark and smooth. Above it, a red light blinked slowly, and written across the surface in old faded English were the words, "Do not open." Aaron stepped closer. But before he could touch the door, a voice whispered behind him, "Don't." He turned quickly and saw a woman sitting up in one of the beds. Her skin was pale, and her eyes were wide with fear. "Don't open that door," she said again, her voice dry and cracked. "They'll know." "Who will know?" Aaron asked, walking toward her. But the woman just shook her head and lay back down. "I made that mistake once," she whispered, "and now I can't sleep without screaming." Aaron wanted to ask more, but the doctor was suddenly beside him. "She's not ready to speak," it said calmly. "Too much trauma, too soon." The doctor offered him another cup. "You should drink," it said. "It keeps your strength high." Aaron took the cup, but this time he didn't drink. He just stared at the surface of the milk in the reflection. He thought he saw something move just for a moment, like a face looking back at him from beneath the surface. He blinked, and it was gone. "What's in this milk?" he asked, his voice quiet. "Life," the doctor said. "Memory, healing, energy. It is everything your kind has searched for." Aaron didn't like that answer. Too perfect, too easy. He put the cup down, untouched. Later, when he was alone again, he moved back to the "do not open" door. He leaned close, listening, for a moment. All he heard was silence. Then, very faintly breathing, heavy, slow, and not human, he stepped back quickly. Heart pounding, he looked around, making sure no one saw him. The doctor had disappeared somewhere, and the other patients were silent again. Only the drip of the milk filled the room now. Drip, drip, drip. Aaron sat on the edge of his bed. Thoughts racing. Something was wrong. Deeply wrong. This wasn't just healing. This was something else. He didn't know what was behind that door. But he was starting to believe that healing always comes with a cost. And maybe, just maybe, he was already paying it. From somewhere deep below, the whisper returned. Faint, but clear. If you want more, just close your eyes. Aaron stayed. Awake the entire night, he didn't close his eyes. Not this time. Aaron hadn't slept since he saw the door. Not even for a second. He sat quietly on the soft bed, staring at the white walls that pulsed like a heartbeat. Everyone else in the healing chamber slept like babies. But their faces told a different story. Some smiled too wide, some twitched in pain. And one man kept whispering to himself in his sleep. Aaron listened carefully. Don't listen to the voices. Don't listen to the milk. That word, again, milk. It followed him everywhere now, even when he breathed. The sweet scent of it filled his lungs, too sweet, too perfect. Like it was trying to hide something foul beneath the surface. Aaron stood up and walked toward the feeding station. The clear tubes still pumped the thick white liquid through the machines. The same soft drip echoed across the chamber. Drip, drip. He followed the tube that disappeared into the floor again. It was warm to the touch, pulsing, almost like a vein. He looked around to make sure no one was watching, then leaned down, pressing his ear to the floor. At first, he heard nothing. Then something. Not words, not footsteps, just breathing, slow, deep, and full of pain. Suddenly, a voice spoke behind him. You hear it too, don't you? Aaron jumped, turning fast. It was a man standing near one of the beds. His skin was pale like the others, but his eyes were sharp. Alert. I'm Marcus, he said. I've been here longer than most. How long? Aaron asked. I don't know anymore. Marcus replied. Time changes here. When you drink the milk, Aaron nodded slowly. What is it? He asked. The milk? What's really in it? Marcus smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. It's not just a drink, he said. It's a voice, a memory, a feeling. You don't just heal. You absorb something. Aaron felt a chill. What do you mean absorb? He asked. I mean the milk remembers us, Marcus said. Everything we are, everything we were. It holds on to it like a sponge, and when you drink, it shares things back. Aaron thought about the face he saw in the milk. Just for a second, but it had looked real, like someone trapped inside. They told me I was lucky. Marcus continued, said I survived a battle and they saved me. But I never saw the battlefield, never remembered the fight. Just woke up here with milk in my veins. Aaron sat down, feeling the room spin slightly. You've heard the voices too? Kay asked. Marcus nodded. They whisper. When you sleep, he said, sometimes they sing. They show you things. Aaron looked at him closely. What kind of things? Memories, Marcus whispered, but not your own. That hit Aaron like a punch. He remembered his dream the night before. He had seen a woman crying in a metal room. She was screaming, but no sound came out. He didn't know her, but he had felt everything she felt. Terror, pain, and a strange cold that wrapped around her bones. She was in pain, Aaron said aloud. In my dream, she was trapped. Marcus nodded again. She's one of them, he said. One of the minds still stuck in the milk before Aaron could respond. A high tone rang across the chamber. The doctor had entered, walking smoothly, almost floating. Rest time, it said. Please return to your beds. Everyone obeyed. Silently, even Marcus walked away without a word, as if pulled by invisible strings. Aaron hesitated, but followed. He lay down, but kept his eyes open. He didn't want to dream again. He didn't want to see her face again. But the moment he blinked, He was there, the metal room again, cold and full of shadows. The woman was back, but this time she looked at him. You shouldn't drink, she said, her voice echoing. They'll put your soul in the milk too. Aaron tried to move, but his body was frozen. The room around him melted into white light. And then into darkness. Voices filled the air. Hundreds of them, maybe more, all speaking at once, all trapped in the same white sea. Some cried, some begged, some laughed with madness, all of them inside the milk. He woke up, gasping. His bed soaked in sweat. The doctor stood over him, watching with those glowing eyes. Nightmares are a part of healing, it said calmly. Don't fear them. Aaron sat up, breathing hard. I saw them, he said, the ones inside. The doctor's face didn't change. They chose healing, it said, as did you. Aaron stood slowly, stepping away. Did they really choose? He asked, or did they just close their eyes? The doctor didn't answer. It just turned and walked away, disappearing behind a smooth door. Aaron looked around. Everyone was asleep again. Only Marcus was awake, staring at him from across the room. He nodded once. A warning. Aaron now knew the truth, or at least part of it. The milk healed, but it also trapped. It was more than medicine. It was a prison made of memory. And now, every time he heard the whisper, it sounded different, not soft, not kind, but hungry. If you want more, just close your eyes. Aaron stayed awake. Again, asterisk, Aaron could not take it anymore. The whispers were growing louder each night. They no longer waited for sleep. Now they came when he blinked, when he breathed, even when he sipped water. The milk was inside him, and something inside the milk was alive. He stopped drinking it 2 days ago. The doctor had noticed. You are weakening, it said softly, offering another cup. Aaron shook his head. I'm strong enough, he replied, but inside, he knew the truth. His body was slowing down again. He could feel the pain returning, small, sharp aches in his arms and legs. He had to leave before it was too late, before he gave in to the cup again. He found Marcus near the back wall, watching the others sleep. They're fading, Marcus whispered, one by one. Aaron nodded. I need to get out, he said. I need to see what's below. Marcus turned to him slowly. I've tried before, he said, but I failed. The doctor caught me. What's down there? Aaron asked. Marcus looked away. I only saw it for a second, he said. A giant tank, full of white liquid, and inside it something with eyes. Aaron felt his skin crawl. I need to see it myself, he said. I need to know what I've been drinking. Marcus hesitated, then nodded. There's a tunnel behind the waste unit, he said. It leads to a lower floor, but the system watches movement. So you'll need to time it right. That night, Aaron waited until the lights dimmed and the soft sleeping signal played. The doctor made one last round, then disappeared behind a sealed door. Everyone else slipped into sleep quickly. Like they always did, Aaron moved quietly, sticking close to the walls. He reached the waste unit, just a large smooth panel on the back wall. He pressed gently, and the panel slid open with a soft hiss. Behind it, darkness and a metal ladder going down. He climbed, step by step. The air growing colder, the walls changed from soft white to rusted gray. Down here, the healing ship felt different, older, forgotten. At the bottom, he found a corridor with flickering lights and a faint hum. The sound of machines breathing. He followed the sound until he reached a massive door. No sign, no light. Just a scanner panel beside it. He reached out, and as soon as his fingers touched, the panel lit opened. No alarm, no voice, just silence. Inside was a room the size of a stadium. Tubes ran across the ceiling like webs, all glowing with white liquid, and in the center, a glass tank the size of a house. It pulsed softly, like it was alive. Aaron stepped closer, heart pounding. The liquid inside the tank was thick and cloudy. But something moved within it slow, massive, and watching. He pressed his face close to the glass, and suddenly an eye opened. It was human, but wrong. Stretched and glowing white. Then another eye, and another. It had too many eyes, too. Many faces, all floating together like melted wax. Some smiled, some screamed without sound. He stumbled back in horror. A screen nearby flickered to life. A video began to play an old recording. Fuzzy and cracked. A human scientist appeared, his face pale and voice shaking. "If you're watching this," he said, "you need to know the truth. We tried to create perfect healing." He continued, "A psychic human volunteered. She had the ability to store memory and transfer emotion. We used her mind, her cells, her soul, but it kept growing, absorbing others. Linking minds together, she became the milk." The video cut to static. Then showed a file name. Project MOTHRWHITAN stared at the tank. The creature inside looked back at him, and this time, he heard the whisper not in his mind, but through the glass. "If you want to be whole, just close your eyes." He turned and ran, back through the corridor, up the ladder. Through the waste panel, he entered the healing chamber. Heart racing, skin soaked in sweat. He thought no one had noticed. But the doctor was already waiting. "You've been below," it said. Aaron didn't answer. The doctor tilted its head. "You weren't ready for the truth," it said. "Now you will suffer." Aaron stepped forward. "No," he said. "Now I understand. You're not healing us. You're feeding her." The doctor smiled. "Is that not the same thing?" It replied, "She heals, and she hungers." Aaron backed away. He needed a real escape plan, not just answers. But now, he had one more piece of the puzzle. The milk wasn't just medicine, it was a mind, a prison, a hunger that never stopped. And now, it knew him. Later, in the dark, Marcus whispered, "You saw her, didn't you?" Aaron nodded. "She's not just a tank," he said. "She's awake, and from the far side of the room." A whisper floated again. "If you want peace, just close your eyes." Aaron didn't blink. Not now, not ever. Aaron didn't sleep again. Not that night, not the next. He couldn't. Every time he closed his eyes, the voices came faster, louder. They no longer whispered. They begged, they screamed, they cried for freedom, for silence, for death. He had seen Hertha, one they called Mother White. He had seen what she had become and what she was doing to the others, healing. Yes, but at a cost no one understood. They weren't curing the wounded. They were feeding a god made of pain and memory. Now, Aaron had only one thought left: destroy. The lab he waited until the doctor left the chamber. It always followed a schedule, always trusting that no one would resist. Why would they? The milk made you calm. The milk made you forget. Except Aaron hadn't drunk it in days, and his mind was clearer than ever. Tired, yes, but sharp and angry. He found Marcus again in the corner. Sitting on the floor with his head down. "I can't hold it off much longer," Marcus whispered. "It's inside me." "Then help me before it takes us both," Aaron said, kneeling beside him. "I found the source, and I found the control room." Marcus looked up slowly. "There's a control room?" he asked, eyes wide. Aaron nodded, a level above the healing chamber. "Locked, but I saw the machines that feed her." Marcus stood slowly, swaying like a drunk. "Then let's shut her down," he said, "before she drinks the rest of us, together." They moved to the far wall, where a narrow service door sat hidden behind a curtain of soft light. Aaron had seen the doctor enter through it once. He pressed the panel beside it, and the door opened without resistance. No alarms, no guards, just trust. That was their mistake. Inside was a narrow hallway lined with glowing blue panels. Thin glass screens showed status updates in strange alien symbols. But one screen had Earth's language: nutrient flow, stable. Cognitive activity, high resistance level. Minimal. Laren pressed the controls, trying every button. At last, one responded. Override access voice required. They needed the doctor's voice. Marcus leaned close to the wall and pulled out a wire. From a side panel. I used to work in tech back home, he said. Let's see if I still got it. In 5 minutes. He had bypassed the voice lock and forced the screen to open a manual override menu. Aaron selected pump control and pressed stop. The milk stopped flowing for the first time since he arrived. The soft hum of the tubes went silent. The chamber lights dimmed, flickered, and then turned red. Warning signals echoed through the corridor, a deep, sharp tone that cut through the air like a blade. She was waking up, Mother White knew, suddenly. The doctor appeared at the end of the hallway, moving faster than before. No smile this time. No words, just rage and glowing eyes. You touched her, it hissed. You tried to starve the mother. Aaron stepped forward. She's not a mother, he said. She's a prison. You've trapped thousands inside her. She is the future, the doctor snapped. And you are just broken flesh. It reached for a control switch. But Marcus threw a piece of metal at the panel, breaking it with a spark. The doctor roared, not in anger, but in pain. The room shook, and the floor beneath them began to vibrate. She's coming up, Marcus shouted. We need to finish this now. Aaron ran to the main console and opened the emergency drain option. The screen flashed. Warning. Core stability will fail. Continue. He hit yes without a second thought. A deep groan echoed from below, and the floor turned cold. Liquid hissed through the pipes being drained out from the main tank. Somewhere deep in the ship, something screamed. It was not human, not anymore. It was 1,000 minds in one voice, all screaming together. The doctor collapsed, its body twitching. It clutched its head and whispered, "She's in me now." She's angry. Then it stopped moving. Aaron and Marcus ran back through the service door, into the chamber. The patients were waking up. Confused, coughing, blinking, the color had started to return to their faces. One woman touched her face and asked, "Where am I?" "You're safe," Aaron said, "for now." But the ground shook again, and this time cracks spread through the floor. A low voice filled the air, not loud, but everywhere at once. "You starve me. And yet you need me." It was her, Mother White. Aaron knew it wasn't over. They had weakened her. But she was still alive, still deep below. The milk had touched too many minds. And some of it was still inside them. Marcus looked at Aaron, breathing hard. "We didn't kill her," he said. "We just made her angry." Aaron nodded slowly. "Then we finish it next," he said, "for everyone she's taken." And from the cracks below, the whisper returned, slower now, more desperate. "If you want peace, if you want strength, just close your eyes." Aaron stayed wide awake, because now he had a mission. And no one closes their eyes in a war they haven't finished. Asterisk, the ship had stopped shaking. The alarms had gone silent. But something in the air still trembled, a tension you couldn't see, but could feel in your bones, the kind that tells you something old just woke up. Aaron stood near the center of the healing chamber, watching the cracks on the floor. The lights were dimmer now, pulsing slower. Like a heartbeat losing strength, the milk no longer flowed through the tubes, and the patients had started waking up. Some were crying, some just staring. All of them lost. Marcus leaned against the wall, sweat on his face. "She's hurt, but not gone," he said. "We stopped her feeding. But not her mind." Aaron nodded slowly. "I think it's time we found out where she really came from," he said. "Not just the tank knot, just the lab, the beginning." Marcus hesitated, then pointed to a door he had never opened. "Admin core," he said. "Only the doctor had access. Logs, files, old data. Everything they never wanted us to see. Together, they forced the door open, using a metal pipe as leverage. Inside, the room was cold and dry. Untouched by time or milk, dozens of data pads floated above pedestals, glowing faint blue. Aaron grabbed the nearest one and tapped it. The screen lit up with a title. Project Motherwhite Phase, 01 Earth Origin, Aron read aloud. Slowly, subject selected. Dr. Elena Voss, volunteer identified with rare psychic traits. Memory sharing, emotion echo, empathic link confirmed. Project goals, liquid-based memory transmission and organic healing system. He paused, then scrolled down. Initial results, successful transfer, liquid material contains memory strands. Emotional imprints present in all samples, host consciousness. Stable until exposure to additional minds. What does that mean? Marcus asked. Aaron swallowed. It means? She was fine. Until they fed her other people. He kept reading. Phase 02, expansion of host capability. Civilian test subjects introduced for neural bonding. Result, emotional overload. Hosts began absorbing full minds, created internal psychic network. Subject, lost sense of self. Renamed self-we. Aaron looked at Marcus, eyes wide. They didn't just feed her bodies, he said. They fed her minds, thousands of people, all absorbed into one. Phase 03. Control failed. Host expanded neural control to surrounding tech, began influencing thoughts of nearby staff. Project moved off Earth to avoid spread. Healing capabilities remained stable, so repurposed. As battlefield medical system, Marcus shook his head slowly. They didn't shut her down. He whispered. They made her into a product. Aaron dropped the pad, hands shaking. He understood now. All those dreams, all those faces in the milk, they were real people, trapped inside her mind. And the worst part? He could still hear them. Every day since he drank the milk, he felt more connected. Not just to Herb, to all of them. The voices, the memories, the pain was all crawling inside him. Piece by piece. Why haven't I gone mad? He asked aloud. Marcus looked at him strangely. What do you mean? I mean, I still feel like me, Aaron said. But I'm hearing everything. Like I'm in the front seat, and the others are watching from behind. Marcus stepped back slightly. Maybe she's chosen you, he said. Or maybe you're changing. Aaron clenched his fists. No, he said. I'm not becoming like her. I'll end this before I do. But deep inside, a voice answered. Familiar, gentle, cold. You already are. Aaron, he stumbled back, holding his head. The voice wasn't a whisper anymore, it was clear. Motherwhite was speaking directly to him. I remember you. She said, inside his mind, you were dying. Broken, forgotten. I saved you, because I saw myself in you. Aaron tried to shut her out, but she was everywhere. In the walls, in the tubes, in the milk that still clung to his cells. I don't want your gift, he shouted. I want you gone. You want freedom? She replied. So do I. Let me out, and we both become whole. Marcus was staring now, unsure whether to help or run. Aaron looked at him, breathing hard. I'm okay, he lied. She's talking to me. Now, then we need to act fast, Marcus said. She's weak right now. If we find her neural core, we can shut her down for good. Aaron nodded, pushing the voice back. There was a hatch under the tank, he said, remembering the drain tunnel. That's where we go next. Before they left, he picked up one more file. Labeled, Phase 04 Psychic COMPATIB. Light a note. Read. 1 in 10,000 may bond without losing self. Such candidates may act as anchors or replacements. Aaron dropped the pad, heart pounding. He was compatible. She had chosen him for a reason, not to heal him, but to replace her from deep below. The voice returned, soft again, sweet again. "Come to me, Aaron," it said. "Let me rest and you can rise." He didn't answer, but now the choice was clear. He could run, or he could finish it, once and for all. Aaron stood above the final hatch. It was cold metal surrounded by living walls. Soft pulses moved beneath the floor like quiet breathing. The milk was silent now, drained from the pipes. But her voice was louder than ever. "Aaron," she whispered. "You found the way, just as I knew you would." He clenched his fists, knelt down, and opened the hatch. The stale air below hit his face like a forgotten basement full of dust. Blood and broken promises. He looked at Marcus, who stood behind. Him holding a damaged plasma tool. "You still with me?" Aaron asked. Marcus nodded, but fear covered his face. "She's in my dreams now," he said quietly. "Even when I'm awake, we end it today," Aaron replied. Before she finds a way out of here, they climb down into the tunnel. Beneath the tank, it wasn't built like the rest of the ship. This space was older, more primitive, made of rusted steel and exposed cables. It looked human-like, a lab on Earth, long forgotten, and at the center, they saw her, not the tank. Not a screen, her. She was hanging in mid-air, suspended by thick roots of silver wires and fluid-filled tubes. Dozens of faces melted into one shifting surface, eyes blinking in random order. Some looked scared, others angry. Some smiling as if dreaming forever. She wasn't a creature. She was a memory storm made of thousands of souls, and Aaron felt every one of them. He stepped forward, ignoring the pain crawling in his skull. "Aaron," she said again. "I've waited so long for someone like you. You were supposed to be healing people," he said, "not taking them." "I did heal them," she replied. "I took away their pain, their fear, their loneliness. I gave them peace inside me. They're trapped," he said, screaming to get out. She pulsed softly, the lights dimming as if the ship breathed with her. "They scream because they remember the world," she said, "but inside me, they'll never be alone again." Aaron raised the plasma tool and pointed it at her core. "I'm giving them back their choice," he said. "You don't get to decide what peace means." She laughed gently, not cruel, not loud, just sad. "I knew this would be your path," she said. "You were always meant to end me, more become me." The tool shook in his hand. His head throbbed harder. Images flashed behind his eyes. War's childhood, his mother's face, all mixing with hers. He felt her pain. Her creation, her betrayal, her loneliness, and worst of all, he understood it. "You want to die," he whispered, surprised by his own words. "You're tired." "I am so tired, Aaron," she said, her voice like wind through leaves. "I've carried them too long, but if I die, they die too. Unless you take my place." He froze. The memories. The whispers, the eyes all pressing into his skull. All asking, begging, reaching out. He could become the new host. He could set them free, but only if he stayed behind forever. Marcus stepped forward, coughing. "Whatever you're thinking, don't," he said. "This ship can burn, but we have to leave." Aaron looked at him, then looked back at her. His hand hovered over the core unit. "I can free them," he said, "but I can't leave afterward." "No," Marcus said. "There has to be another way." "There isn't," Aaron replied. Calm now. "She built this with her mind, and I have the same kind of mind. She was a door, and now I have to be the one to close it." He smiled slightly. "Tell them the truth," he said. "Tell Earth what they did and what it cost." Marcus grabbed his arm, but Aaron shook his head. "It's okay," he said. "Just go before the system resets." Then he turned to her. He stepped into the light of the core, and she opened to him not with force, not with violence, but like a mother welcoming a son. Aaron felt himself falling, but it wasn't death. It was merging, spreading, becoming something more. All the voices became one, all the pain softened, All the screaming turned into a deep, slow breath, and for the first time, the ship went quiet. No more whispers, no more milk, no more hunger. Marcus climbed out, ran through the empty healing chamber, past the broken machines, and into the escape pod. The ship began to collapse behind him, but it didn't explode. It folded in on itself, like a dream closing its eyes from deep inside the stars. One final message echoed through the escape pod system. It was Aaron's voice, calm and strong. If you want to live, open your eyes, and then silence. Aaron was gone, but so was she. And for the first time in years, the stars felt quiet again.